Welcome everybody back to the basement. Joining us in studio today is a boy named John. What's happening, guys?
How's it going?
How are you?
Oh, I'm pretty good. I'm kind of in lament because Penn State lost. But anyways, that's beside the point. Yeah, I'm pissed. Everybody's pissed, I'm sure, in this place. But either way, not this place, but like in Penn State in general. But anyways, we're not about that. We're about the music here. We want to hear what you guys have to play because I heard you guys at the Hush Room not too long ago, which was an awesome show.
Thank you.
Yeah, you guys were phenomenal there. Like, I mean, you guys are on tour constantly. Like, come from New Jersey, yeah?
Yep, we're from New Jersey, and we did a 3-week tour this past summer from like the end of June to the middle of July. We went Midwest, down south, and back up the coast. So
Gotcha.
first major one, so that was cool.
What were the big stops on that tour?
The big stops there. I think the biggest one that we took, the most value was at a venue called the Great Arrow in Monaca, Pennsylvania, which is about 3 hours away from here, and we met like a great DIY community. It's a new venue, and a bunch of college kids come out too, and our friends in a band called Steel City Ruins run that venue, and they're really good guys.
Wow, that's awesome. What's up?
We just played there last night.
Last night?
Yeah.
And I guess last night, you guys got a little crazy then, yeah?
Yeah.
Are you feeling those effects right now, or?
I'm feeling it, Mr. Krabs.
Yeah. We're all feeling
I'm
it.
feeling it.
Yeah, that's really cool. Honestly, you guys are the first touring band that we've had in. And, we're really excited to have you here. And, we were going through sound check and whatnot. You guys sound phenomenal. And I honestly just want to jump right into things. I want to hear your first song right up front. So,
Cool.
If you guys, I think you already know what you're going to play, yeah?
Yeah.
Cool. Well, I'll go ahead and let you guys take it away then.
Awesome. The song's called Circuits.
Walking away in ways that I could, retracing footsteps similar of what worked and found the exit. Closing doors aren't new, so what feels different with pacing? Leave the lights off, ignore the corners and cut them open, sweeping secrets under rugs where I can't find them. Damned on the chlorinate, coated with the musk, feeling so equally close. Remember this, you must. Send your letter straight into the fire. Parchment and pyro burns the ice. Smoking in turn will drown the liar. Writing your right down, it's so fun to watch you fall. Feeling so tall with your hopes, so let us hide in our heights. Leave the lights off, ignore the corners and cut them open, sweeping secrets under rugs where I can't find them. Damned on the chlorinate, coated with the musk, feeling so equal and close. Remember this, you must. Ooh. secrets under us where I can't find. Leave the lights off, ignore the corners and cut them open. Sweeping secrets under us where I can't find them. Damp on the floor and they coated with the musk, feeling so equal and close. Remember this, you must. Remember this, you must.
All right. Jeez, that is awesome. That's amazing. You guys are really good at what you do, obviously being a touring band.
Man, I'd sure hope so.
Yeah, that's great. And you guys being here acoustic, I know you're a full band originally. And if anybody listening has never heard A Boy Named John before, they can go to...
www.aboynamedjohn.com as our website.
That is so simple that it's scary.
No one had
And-
that domain, so we're lucky.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
have a domain and all major social media handles, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, all at A Boy Named John NJ, I believe.
If
Yes.
a millennial has it, we do too.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's great to have you guys in here. And I guess the first couple of questions that I have really, well, first of all, before we get to that, I am joined here in studio also by Nick and Jack, also with A Boy Named John. But since they are doing acoustic tonight, I guess Jack here will be joining in later. Yeah.
One song I'll hop on.
Yeah, so we'll get to that later. But yeah, these two are going to be joining me and kind of as co-hosts, I guess. And first couple of questions that I have, I guess first and foremost, you guys are from New Jersey.
Yes.
What is the New Jersey music scene like, wherever you guys are from? What is it mostly DIY? Are there like professional venues there? Are there bands booming? Are they not? What's it like over there?
It depends on who you ask.
Yeah.
Honestly, everywhere is kind of different in Jersey.
It's very. Go ahead.
Well, the way that I kind of see it is that there's North Jersey, Central Jersey, which everyone says doesn't exist, but it does, and then there's South Jersey. And North Jersey, you have a lot of pop punk and hardcore and kind of that genre. You get up a little bit more north, and it's the city where it has every kind of genre ever, And South Jersey and Central Jersey is more like indies. So like it's a lot of the DIY scene we're like accustomed to. There are also pretty good professional venues. Starlands in South Jersey. There's
Yep, Sterling Ballroom.
House
there's
of
a lot of
Independence
bars.
is a new one. Down on Jersey Shore.
Asbury Park,
We
yep.
just played
Stone
House-
Pony.
Yeah,
Stone
Stone
Pony.
Ponies. That's a classic.
That's been around.
Cool.
Yeah, and like the DIY scene's really blowing up too. Like there's venues all over the place now. Basement shows are still happening. That's what we do quite often now. And like the New Brunswick scene and stuff, we're getting involved with that. So it's just really,
New
really.
Brunswick is Rutgers, which
Oh
I'm
yeah,
sure you
Rutgers.
guys are
Sorry,
not.
yeah.
Rutgers University.
You guys
Yeah.
probably are.
The thing about Rutgers, though, is, and without getting too in depth, is they are kind of smaller and their sports teams are.
Oh,
Yeah,
My
it's like a
girlfriend goes
bigger
to
deal
Rutgers,
over there,
so-
apparently.
I
right?
mean, let's be honest.
He's not wrong though.
Oh, I don't have it. I'm
But-
guilty. I don't care.
I went to
Either
Seton Hall, so like I have no way to talk. Like
nobody hears sports
No.
except for like me and maybe Chris, which also Chris, our camera guy, is doing everything for us camera wise.
Yeah,
again.
Chris.
Give yourself a shot. Come on, you want there.
Yeah.
Yeah, so New Brunswick area, Rutgers and stuff. The DIY scene, I guess, is booming up there. A couple of cool venues, but bands from New Jersey that you guys are really close with. Are there any? Are there any that are like on your radar to possibly tour with or
Hodera.
something?
Hodera is awesome.
We were there's a band called Hodera from North Jersey. They just put out a really cool album that we've been jamming on the road this entire time.
Cool.
They're really cool. We're playing a show with them soon. I'm not sure if I'm allowed to announce that yet.
No worries. Don't get yourself in trouble.
Yeah, but that's gonna be cool, and they're good friends, and yeah, they're a really
Nice.
good band. Who else?
there's
Bobby
so many people.
There's so
I mean,
many.
yeah,
like,
that's the thing
we're
about Jersey.
lucky.
Jersey is a tiny state, but there are so many people.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I've always noticed that a lot of bands that come through State College here, which let's also kind of iterate now, that State College is a major stop for bands that are coming from the Philly area, the Pittsburgh area, which isn't too big, but like you come up from up north, you know, you go coming from New Hampshire, Connecticut, Maine, Massachusetts, wherever. If you're going down south to say like, you know, Georgia, Florida, wherever, you're crossing over 80 and going down towards like Harrisburg, and then 83 all the way down. So State College is like right in the center of that, and it's a big stop for a lot of bands that come through here. So yeah, like it's kind of cool to see all of the bands that stop in through State College, like big name bands, and it's like, whoa, like
Andrew Jackson Jihad tonight.
Yeah, Andrew Jackson Jihad is literally
We're all
playing
missing
right
the show.
now. Yeah. So
You're stuck in a basement. I'm sorry.
I know. I'm stuck in my wet, damp basement.
It's a beautiful basement.
Where we belong.
Yeah, I mean, some of the other bands like that are around. Hodera is a big one. They're doing big things. Man Dancing has got to be one of the best bands I've ever seen.
Yeah, they're
Bobby Mahoney.
Bobby
Mahoney's
Mahoney.
killing it.
New band Sun Bowl. Our friend Mahir's in that band. Sam Wu. He's a good boy. I like
Electric
Sam Wu.
Sensei, yes.
Electric Sensei.
Will Wood and the Tapeworms.
Yes.
They're
Yeah,
killing
great.
it too.
Yeah.
I play piano as well, and every time I see Will Wood play, I just kind of want to quit. Like, you know,
I can so relate because like whenever I play out places, we play with like a band or something that just kills it, and every time I'm like, I should probably just stop.
I need to go home and practice.
That's how I felt. Last night we played with a band called Steel City Ruins, we mentioned before.
Oh, and then Hidden Hospitals we play with also.
Yes.
Yeah, they were
and
cool.
They're from
Captain
Chicago.
Captain of the Sky.
Captain Sky.
Yeah.
But anyway, so we played, and then Steel City Ruins played right after us, and they're really good friends of us, but they murdered our set.
Stupid.
They played so well, and it just made me feel like, what is the point? Even I should never touch a guitar again.
Well, honestly, I mean, just with that last song alone, and there's going to be more coming, and I'm really excited for those. But I mean, you guys are great in your own right. You guys are really good at what you do.
Thanks, man.
You know, I mean, I guess when it comes down to it, I always thought of it as like the bands that are out there that, you know, I look at and I'm like, man, I really wish I was that good. Every time, you know, I would like watch that or see that, there would always be that, you know, like week or 2 weeks where I just kind of like sit around and I had a choice of either to get better or to just sit there and say like, well, I guess I'm never going to reach that level. And then eventually, you know, I play a show or something and I'm that band for someone else.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And, you know, that's happened a few times. And I think, you know, I'm sure you guys have already had that experience. If not, I'm sure it will happen at some point. Some up and coming band from whether it's Philly or New Brunswick or somewhere in Jersey, you know, they're going to come up to you one day and just be like, yo, that was killer.
Thanks.
Thanks, man.
That's really
So-
nice, yeah.
Yeah, in studio right now, A Boy Named John. You guys are killing it so far. We have a few more songs coming up, but I do have one other question before we go on to that. Philadelphia, is that a major player for like anything in the New Jersey scene, or does that really help feed into?
It's like so far.
At least from us.
Yeah, we're about 2 hours. It's basically an extension of South Jersey, but better. And but for us, it's like we play Philly a little bit, but it's kind of a hard stop to make unless we're already on tour or something.
We
It's
don't
not
have
like
that
a
much
local
experience
show.
there. Yeah.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
but it's a cool stop. As far as the Jersey scene, I think a lot of South Jersey bands expand to Philly pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Cool.
That's like
It's also very kind of undergroundy as far as I understand the Philly scene. You know, there's a lot of bands from New Brunswick who that are kind of like the halfway meeting point between us and Philly, who like migrate down there, or you know, from Asbury Park, which is kind of like also South Jersey. So there's a lot of communication. Just depends on what part of New Jersey you're in.
Gotcha. Cool. Well, I think it's time for another song because I am so ready and I'm so excited. I can't tell you guys enough. When I saw you at the Hush Room, it was like, wow, it blew my mind.
That was a good show.
It was a really good show.
That was
and
a lot
I
of fun for sure.
Yeah, I was ecstatic when I saw you guys play because I actually, going back to what I was saying before, I was the opening band for that show, and after you guys played, I was just like, oh God, what have I done?
Oh, and you guys killed it too.
Yeah, you guys
I know
love
that
to
you
watch.
broke a string like the last song, right?
Yeah, yeah.
But you owned it. You totally owned it.
Roll the
I tried.
punches. That's what we do all the time. Just roll the
Josh
punches.
breaks a string.
That's all you really can do, you know? Like, I mean, there's been a couple of times when I've had a performance where something goes majorly wrong, but it depends on how you handle it as a musician.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
There's a video of Stevie Ray Vaughan breaking a string, and he just somehow rips a solo with only 5 strings, and it's like better than it would have even been You know, that's the kind of guitarist I wish I could be.
You and me both. Someday I will get there. I mean, hey, I've been listening in on you, and you got some skills there, though. Like,
Thanks,
let's be honest. Come on.
Thank you.
Cool. Well,
Tickling my ego here.
that's what I do. That's what I do. Got to get these bands, all these bands that come through here. I try and get them hyped up. You know. Like,
Thanks. Man.
cool. Well, let's go ahead and jump into this next song. What is this next song?
Cool. This next one is called Effectum Terrare.
When I was a young boy, my mother came to me. She said, son, you're gonna be okay. Sometimes I wonder what fate had in store for me. We should have focused on the gray. Every damn day, or so it seems, your signals inclining towards me. So let the rain shine on down and shine on down. I just killed a whole community of fruit flies in my ear. The infestation grew with immunity as our lonely mouths were fed. Every damn day, or so it seems, your signals inclining towards me. So let the rain shine on down and shine on down. When I was a young boy, my mother came to me. She said, son, you're gonna be every damn day, or so it seems, your signals inclining towards me. So let the rain shine on down and shine on down.
Thanks.
Oh my God. Oh.
That was one of the first songs we ever wrote.
Yeah.
Wow. Really?
Yeah.
We were
Yeah, it was
actually
kinda-
we were having this conversation at practice the other day, and like we were all setting up to play it, and like just collective. I'm like, we've been playing that song for like close to 6 years now,
So you guys been together for 6 years?
Roughly, yeah.
roughly about. Yeah, I'd say so.
Depends who you ask.
Yeah, yeah.
Again.
Depends on who you ask, but
Yeah.
the band itself started when I was a freshman in high school. So what that was 2010, 2011.
That's exactly when I graduated, 2011. Yeah.
Oh golly.
It's weird.
I'm old.
Oh man.
This is rough.
Yeah, I'll be honest. This is a perfect segue into my next set of questions because I was going to
Awesome.
ask you guys, when did you guys start? Like, and how long ago was it? How long have you been together? How long have you been writing?
Take it away, Josh.
Oh, here we
I
go.
always get this one. We were. I was very young. It was me and our old drummer. We started jamming one day in middle school, and we decided to form a band. And we had mentioned to our middle school band director, whose name is John, that we told him that we were going to start a band, and he brought us to this like back closet in the school and gave us just like $2,000 worth of vocal equipment and free stuff.
Wow.
Totally for free.
Yeah.
He was like
Wow.
one of those guys that was like, you know what he said. He was like brought you to the back alley, and it was either going to be really bad or really good. I don't mean that like that. Maybe, you know what I mean?
Guy's a saint. He's
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
he
so his name is John San Giovanni, and we named the band after him.
I remember you guys were like debating. Like I wasn't in the band. I joined maybe like 2 or 3 years ago. I remember you guys were debating calling it Sanj.
Yeah.
Yeah,
very
and that
long
was
time
a
ago.
horrible decision. I'm glad
Yeah.
you didn't go with it.
I told him that I told John San Giovanni that we were going to name the band A Boy Named John, and he was like, "What, like the toilet?" that's the kind of person that he is. If you need an idea.
Oh man, that's awesome though. To be completely honest, I know I say that a lot, to be honest, but it's my catchphrase.
Everyone has one.
To be completely honest, when you guys first came together, did you ever like dream in your biggest dreams think that you would be a touring band? Did you ever think that that was a possibility?
I think, at least for me, like in the beginning, like, this was just meant to be fun, and then I think when we started to take the band more seriously, Nick and I were seniors in high school, and Nick joined the band. He started playing bass, and we just finished recording our first EP, or so it seems, back in 2014, released it, and we saw like the reception that it got, from our friends and people that we haven't met, and we were like, wow, like we could probably make something out of this, and we like had a conversation one day, and we talked about what our goals were for this band, and lo and behold, we're a touring band now, and we're just trying to grow and progress as a group, as human beings, as a band.
Yeah, absolutely. That's kind of the thing with me here. I try and relate as much as I can to all the bands that come through here, and I can honestly say with with my band being here in State College, 2 of us are in college. One of them, Nick, he is active duty Navy, so he can't do anything touring wise or whatever. And Joel, his wife works here, and I mean he could, I guess, but then Jacob's leaving to go to Austin, Texas soon. Wow. We have no aspiration to really take it seriously, and I think that's what really happens with a lot of bands. They come down a crossroads and they have a choice. Mm-hmm. It's like you can either, if you're good enough, you can either do this for real, take it serious, and try, or not. Yeah. And I guess you guys, decided to take that first choice and make it somewhere, and that once you kind of came to that reality, here we are.
Yeah. And you know what too, we just had a conversation about this last night. I think the main reason that we're all so comfortable taking this big leap and attempting to make this our career is that we all have other music interests, and I don't mean that to say that we don't take this seriously and we don't have big aspirations for this, but we all have other things going on and things that we enjoy that are involved in music, and it gives us a bit of a comfort blanket, and it also improves ourselves as a band. For example, Nick was working for Warner Music, and now he's interning for Paris's management company. I'm doing a lot with sound. I'm a stagehand, and everyone just has general interests in music, and it not only helps outside of the band, but it helps inside the band too. Absolutely.
Yeah. Understanding gear, understanding how audio is ran, stuff makes you a better musician, I think, because that stuff is very important. And especially with gear too. I know you and I are gear heads. Yep. We like our gear.
Yeah, he's trying to like teach us new stuff and like lecture us about gear and everything, and we're a little hesitant to take him up on that, but we need to. We're just being stubborn musicians.
The extent of my knowledge is like I press the button and it goes.
That stuff is very important. I'll be honest. When I first, I only just bought my first tube amp like last year. And it was one of those things where I was with my buddy who had been doing music since I joined the military. We were in a band back in high school, and he ended up going off and doing actual things with music. He played, he was like the worship team leader for a church. Now he's in a band called Mike Swagger Pan. They just played South by Southwest last year.
Wow, that's awesome.
So they're pretty big. Mm-hmm. Anyways, he's from my hometown, and when I got out of the service, I quit music for like 4 years while I was in. I got out, and I was like, hey, let's hang out. So I went over to his studio at his house, and I mean, he's got some awesome stuff there. And he was showing me around like tube amps and stuff. And I was like, what's a tube amp? And I mean, this is literally last year. So it's not that long ago. And he's like, oh yeah, tube amp. And he's showing me around this, it was a Celestian tube amp that he had with real Celestian speakers. It was like 5 watts. It was super small, but it sounded so good. And he was showing me his pedal board and stuff, and I was like, this is so cool, I need to get into this. So we, like literally, after we left his place, we drove right up to a local music shop, and I went and I bought my first tube amp, which is actually sitting right here. That's my Vox Night Train, which is currently broken, which sucks.
Rip. I was taking a look at that. We'll talk later.
Yeah. But yeah, like after this tube amp that I bought, it just opened doors for me as far as sound. And then started getting into pedals and buying pedals and stuff, and that just even more so my sound just developed exponentially. So I guess this really ties in close with you guys as far as gear is concerned, and as far as your guys' sound is concerned. How much has learning on the road, going from place to place and seeing and talking to other people and their points of views and their knowledge and what they have to say, how does this really expand you guys as a band, both musically, in your musicianship, technologically, in your know-how and what you do?
It's the most important thing we can do.
Yeah, it's like a reality check. You know, like every time I see someone, you know, who has a pedal or like a board that I really like, I'm just like, hey, I'm gonna take a picture of this. I hope you're cool with that, and just like take like pictures of people's pedal board. I mean, like, it would be not a waste of time if we didn't, but like, you know, one of the most important things is to learn from other people on the road.
It would be a disservice almost.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we've seen bands like not take care of their gear. Like we pack our trailer like it's a Tetris game, and like we make sure everything's in the safe position. We've seen bands where they just throw everything to their trailer and just like hope for the best and like don't think like twice about it. And just being organized on the road has been so helpful. Like this tour that we did really like kicked our asses on how to do that, make sure everything works well. And you know, because you're playing every night, everything's got to be perfect every single time.
Yeah.
So
Don't
And
have
I'm
time
sure-
to stop at Guitar Center to fix it.
yeah.
And I'm sure gear upkeep has a lot to do with that. You know, if you have a single point of failure in any of your gear, it's like that's not good, you know. So backups for everything, right?
Yeah, everything's important.
If you
Even the
have money.
smallest thing is the most important thing.
Yeah.
So,
Backups come with money.
Yes, they do. And I'll be honest, like what I have down here is definitely self-financed. I bought all of this gear myself, but it wasn't without working long, hard hours, exhausting a credit card or two, you know.
Yeah.
So fortunately, I've caught up on all my credit card debt, so that's good.
good for you.
Very nice.
Beautiful.
Yeah, so the only thing I have to pay off is this laptop, which kind of sucks, but whatever.
Okay.
Yeah, that's awesome. It's good to know that you guys are out there learning as you go. I know some bands, you know, they get a couple thousand followers and start touring with bigger name bands, and then all of a sudden, like, they're untouchable. You know, that happens sometimes. And you
Sometimes,
know,
yeah.
yeah. But you guys seem pretty down to earth. I know the last time we spoke, you guys were super chill. We hung out after the show.
Yeah.
And so glad to have you guys back and here in studio and get your music out there for State College and beyond.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah,
man.
thank you so
Yeah,
much.
Absolutely.
State College is real cool.
Yeah.
I, honestly,
Yeah.
like we
Yeah.
haven't really stopped here before a lot, but it seems like a really cool crowd.
It definitely is. And the music scene is one of those scenes that is, and I've said this in past videos, it's underground. It's exclusive. People don't know too much about what's happening and where. You have to be in the know. You know, people have to tell you what's happening, when it's happening, and you'll never know. Like last year, we had Pup and Jeff Rosenstock come into
Yeah.
town. Like,
Yeah.
what is going on?
do you know?
What this dot, this little speck on the map between, literally surrounded by nothing, just cows and like Amish farms and stuff. You know,
fog.
yeah, they're like going through, you know, cow, tree, cow, Amish farm, 40,000 people, and then cow. Tree. You know, it's ridiculous. That is not my my bassist actually said that in an interview once, so I guess I should probably quote him. Yeah.
Cite your
MLA
sources.
style.
Yeah. But yeah, so State College music scene is definitely interesting, but also quality at the same time. It's unlike anything I've ever been at before. And I mean, I haven't been involved in too many music scenes, but it's up there for me, like the ones I have been involved with. It's definitely really cool and interesting in how they do things. So anyways, I am dying to hear your guys' next song because this stuff is so good, and I am so excited to hear what you have coming up next. So I will go ahead and hand it over back to you guys and let you kind of
Cool.
get the ball rolling. Go ahead, take it away.
This next song is called Tuning.
Oh yeah, that is important. You might want to get that going. That is one of the things that I've always kind of like. Tuning is one of those things where like it's almost you have to be like so obvious with it and just be like, yeah, I'm tuning right now.
You gotta
Shut
own
up.
it.
Yeah.
Just gotta own it.
Yeah. Cool.
Alright.
I'll just hand it over whenever you're ready.
This next one is called Icy, said the blind man.
Isn't it funny? The omniscient ones don't care at all. Isn't it the worst that the ones that try the hardest know nothing at all? We know something they don't know. And they know something we don't know. No, 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 no. Isn't it funny? The omniscient ones don't care at all. Isn't it the worst that the ones that try the hardest know nothing at all? We know something they don't know. And they know something we don't know. No, 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 no. They know, we know, they know, we know.
Wow. That is
I guess
awesome,
that's how
guys.
that ends.
That's a pretty powerful song, guys.
Thanks.
There's like I've been alluding to this all night, and I'm almost scared to say it, but I'm just gonna go ahead and say it. So your guys' music is bringing me back to like 2003, 2004, back when like you had like My Chemical Romance, AFI, bands like that, like almost. I don't want to say emo, but it's got that.
You could say it.
You can say
You could
emo.
say emo. It's okay.
We're not ashamed.
You shouldn't be. You guys sound so good. It's literally like, well, I wouldn't say literally like, but it it gives me this idea of just like emo reborn, and like just a modern day representation of it that is extremely tasteful. And all the songs that you guys have been playing, especially the second one you guys played. Yeah, what is that called again?
That's called Effectum Terrore.
Yeah, that song. I can't say that because my vocabulary is shit. But
It's not really. It's okay.
It's in Latin.
fine.
Yeah.
It's just something we made up. We were young and decided we wanted to be artsy fartsy. And
Yeah.
so we had a song name down and we decided to put it in Latin instead because we're amazing.
Yeah, we're really cool.
Well, it totally works, and like that song, like, and all the other ones you guys have been playing have just really kind of been taking me to that. And me being a prior scene kid back in those days,
Yeah.
I'm just sitting here loving every second of it, and I think a lot of people can relate to that feeling listening to you guys. And I think that's why you've gotten such a big following, and obviously because you're extremely talented. So those things kind of mesh together and almost form this perfect storm for your guys' success, I think.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
We get that a lot, like with My Chem, like we sound like My Chem Bayside. We've gotten a lot.
Phoenicia Fair, people have
Phoenicia
said.
Fair,
Brand
bunch
new.
of other, brand new.
Macy
stuff like
Gray.
that.
A little bit.
Hannah Montana sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Hannah Montana.
Slayer. Yeah.
Any of those bands, really. Yeah.
That's interesting. Hannah Montana. I wouldn't have called that one. Yeah, that's really awesome. So I've been dying to say that. And now it's off my chest. I can breathe. I'm good now.
Thank you for saying it.
Yeah, yeah. I was hoping you guys wouldn't be like emo, dude. The fuck? Like, come on.
No.
Yeah, and it depends on who you ask what emo is.
Oh,
Like,
don't
you know,
even get me
Yeah.
started.
Yeah, there's a whole
God.
Yeah,
like,
I had to do an essay for my rock and roll history class,
Oh.
and I had to like write a paper on a chapter in the rock and roll history textbook, and the one chapter was called "Defining Emo," and it was literally just Urban Dictionary definitions from just jerk offs about like emo and stuff. None of them are nice. I think one or two are like actual and factual, like about like Rites of Spring or whatever it
Yeah.
is, and like all those bands. But it's just like emo got such a bad rap in the early days, and now it's like, oh yeah, it was emo, whatever. No worries. Like it's just accepted and stuff now. So.
Like, okay, sure.
Well, what did Foxing say? They said something along the lines of like they tweeted. I don't know if you could say that they said this, but they tweeted that they don't think of genres when they're writing music. There's like you probably know better.
They said something along the lines of that. One day they wish that people will not, testify bands being good based off of their genre, but just hope that they're just good bands.
Yeah.
They don't put labels to them. They just say, wow, that band was really good because they were good.
That is extremely important, and I think a lot of musicians out there and even people in general need to hear that statement, because I can't tell you how many times there's people out there that overthink and over-engineer a song, and I mean, when it comes down to it, bad music is bad music, and good music is good music. And you can't there's no amount of engineering or mixing or mastering or writing that can change that, unless it's good writing. But either way, like I think if I had to sum it up into words, Dave Grohl said it best when he had an interview, and he sat down and flat out said, I'm paraphrasing this, but he flat out said like, hey, I never went into Nirvana, imagining myself on the cover of Drummer magazine, of Modern Drummer. Like, that wasn't my goal. That wasn't my intention. Honestly, I'm going to say what he wanted. Obviously, what he wanted was to just go out and play music. And that's what he did. And what made them successful was going out and playing live. If you're good, go out and play live, and you'll know if you're good or not, because people will let you know. And it doesn't take sitting in a studio with a bunch of whoever's telling you need to do this and this and this when they don't even play an instrument on their own goddamn record.
Yeah. There's a huge, I guess, debate in like the music industry about all that stuff. I just stopped in the Atlanta Records the other day with my class, and like we were talking to some of the A&R people, and we asked, like, do you guys look for a big following? Do you look for talent? What do you look for? And like, do you even go to shows anymore, or is it just Spotify numbers to you guys? And like, it really depends. Like, you have like who they have like underneath it's like Fueled by Ramen and stuff. You have like 21 Pilots, Paramore, but then they just signed like the Cash Me Outside girl, like Under Atlantic too, and like you don't know where like they fall with all that stuff. So I mean, like, I guess it's the people that really decide it rather than the industry heads and all that stuff too.
Wait a second. Atlantic Records signed Cash Me Outside Girl?
Yeah, you heard that fact too.
Yeah.
Welcome to reality.
Yeah, apparently like they didn't even know that. Like a lot of people in Atlantic had no idea. Yeah.
Oh.
It's not even about like her music. Like honestly, I listened to a few of her songs, and
yeah, dude, her new single's fire.
they're not. In all seriousness, they're not bad. Like
Apparently, she has flow. Apparently,
I didn't expect that. Yeah, I didn't expect that from her. But still, it's one of those things where, like, just based on principle, somebody who makes their fame the way she did, why would you? Anyway, either way, that's beside the point. Let's get back to you guys, because you are the real story and you're the real music here. So, I'm gonna ask. I'm gonna ask this question because I always do. When you guys write your music, and I guess from the time you started to now, what's changed in your guys' musical influences? What did you guys first aspire to be, or aspire to emulate or mirror, or did you just go into it like, we're gonna write whatever the hell we want? How did that work? What are the changes from then and now?
We started, our former drummer and I, we just played Green Day covers.
Nice.
Nice. So, as a lot of bands do. But then we ended up getting a little bit more serious, and I don't know if we ever sat down and decided that this is the kind of music we want to play, but we definitely, at a certain point after writing a few songs, said, this is what we sound like, this is what we do well with, let's keep doing this, Cool. So there is the honesty about it, it's not like we're oblivious to it, or we don't think about it.
Yeah, for sure. And I think with this last album, our first one, So We Live, So We Die, it was very, I would say, like, not jam based, like like jam oriented or whatever. But we had there was always like a bare bone idea, and it was brought to the band as a whole without it being worked on at all, like in smaller groups. Because with the EP, it was a lot of Josh and I coming together and just writing like the full band songs out acoustically first, and then bringing it to the band. Whereas for the full length, it was just like, okay, here's an idea. What do we think about this? Do you want to let's try it.
Yeah.
basically.
And relating to your question a little bit too, we're actually starting to write again now, and we're kind of throwing all the what's the phrase? Throwing out
Preconceptions.
Yeah, getting rid of all the ways that we used to do things, and just kind of this is the first time in the history of our band, I think, that we sat down and we said, this is how we write well, let's or this is how we don't write well, or like we were at practice writing the other day, and we gave each other a listening assignment, which I think is
Which we didn't do.
which we didn't do. But we said, by next practice, bring in a song that you like, that is that's structurally weird or different, and let's take inspiration from it. Let's all listen and
Gotcha. So, so I'm thinking about your guys' writing situation, and to know that you guys have started writing in a different way. I'm sure that's been going well for you. Yeah, you're writing a new album now, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we're starting to. We just have a whole bunch of at least lyric ideas right now, and we have about like 3 or 4 like instrumental ideas to those infinite amount of like poetry or poems, if you want to call them. But yeah, and a lot of this process has been this whole like writing process has been without a drummer so far. And the one song that we really have finalized right now, we did write with a drummer, and he he's a pretty good guy, and he can we haven't even played a show with him yet, and we kind of just sat him down and we were like hey, like we have an idea, do you want to jam on it? And we basically have a song, we just have to figure out how we're going to end it, or what have you. But yeah, and this is a really different writing process for us, because we always used to write as a 6-piece, and now we're a 5-piece.
And even before that, like I was / sort of am in a band. Like we all have different music tastes. Like Josh is much more jazz based. Chris is more.
You guys always say that.
You know more jazz than any of us. So I'm gonna call you jazz based.
All right.
I'm like indie.
labels.
Like I'm very Death Cabby and like Bright Eyes and very sad. Jack's alternative sort of. Nick is heavier and Chris is. Sad boy spaghetti. So like and
Sad
one
boy.
one of the things, like I am in a band called The Company Kept, and I front that, and a lot of the time I was putting my energy into both of them, so The Company Kept kind of slowed down for a bit, and I'm kind of sprinkling ideas into this project now, so I'm excited to see where that's gonna go.
Cool. Yeah, well, I mean, I'm excited to hear the new stuff that you guys have coming out, and I'm sure.
Yeah, we are too.
We haven't heard most of it either. There's very little of it.
Yeah, I won't ask for a time frame or anything, because I know those questions are difficult to answer. But what I will request is your 4th song, because
Sweet.
I'm really excited to hear it.
Peace.
Paul's out.
Yeah,
Jackson.
we got a switch happening here. Jack is gonna go ahead and take a step
Got the
in.
tag team right now.
Yeah.
Oh hi, Mark.
Awesome.
The power of rock.
All right. I'm gonna go ahead and just hand it over to you guys and let you do your thing.
Awesome.
Cool.
All right. This is gonna be our last song, and this song is called Sir Rock. I hate to be the man who stands there with his hands tied, watching as his world is torn to shreds. The sense of shame collapsed on the golden doorstep, right next to all of her drunk friends. So come on, let me take the wheel. I'll just be fine
tell me really how you feel. Oh no, we're out of time. Thank you for your thoughts, now our show has begun. Up against the wall, it seems as though we've lost control. Hang on tight, I'll take you for a ride. You know it's not our fault. Don't you see we feel alive? Evil intense, we have connived. So come on, let me take the wheel. I'll just be fine, tell me really how you feel. Oh no, we're out of time. Thank you for your thoughts, now our show has begun. Feel the sun wake up the town. The sense of time was lost with morale. I'm so ashamed, can you help me? It'll be alright, just get above your 2 feet. It ain't to throw you under the bus, but this is job patrols and I don't wanna forget. It ain't to tell you you're so wrong, but isn't it right to feel so much regret? It ain't to throw you under the bus, but this is job patrols and I don't wanna forget. It ain't to tell you you're so wrong, but isn't it right to feel so much regret? So come on, let me take the wheel. I'll just be fine. Tell me really how you feel. Oh no, we're out of time. Thank you for your thoughts. Now our show has begun.
Thanks.
Wow. That is awesome. I will be honest, that is really awesome. But speaking of being out of time, I am actually running out of dick.
You're running
That's it. That's it. Yep. Beautiful.
Plenty of dicks in the room. I don't know what you're talking about.
Really quick before you run out of time, shout out to Sean over there.
Yes. Yes.
Sean,
we
yes,
cannot
clap for
forget.
Sean.
We love Sean.
He's been filling in on drums for us for the past year, and he's just been fucking killing it.
Yeah, I heard you play last show you guys played here, and definitely killer. And also fellow drum tech, obviously, with your tuning and stuff. So really nice.
Classically trained and everything.
Yeah.
Thebomb.com.
Yeah.
Let's not get him started on marimbas.
Oh no.
Shout out to Falls Creek Marimbas.
You guys got any metal?
Shout out.
Alright, we're not gonna do that.
Couldn't tell by the Metallica shirt, could you?
Well, yeah. Unfortunately, I'm going to try and say this right this time. I am running out of disk space on the laptop. I guess I forgot to clear some files and stuff, so we're gonna have to cut it a little bit short. But it doesn't really matter anyways. We got to hear some awesome music. We got to hear you guys play, and actually a recorded version acoustically of you guys playing, which I'm sure. Have you ever done before?
Yeah, we've done
Okay,
a few
cool.
of those.
Anything on YouTube?
Yeah.
Awesome. All right. Well, I
This
will.
is definitely the better one that we've done, I feel like, so far.
As far as our talent.
No, you guys definitely killed this, and I'm so excited to just go back and and master all these and get them on
Great.
YouTube as
Thank you
fast
so
as
much.
possible because you guys are phenomenal.
There's no dicks in the room. How would you masturbate with no dicks?
I'm never gonna live this
ran
down.
out.
That one time that I actually said dicks during a basement session. Oh my
Incredible.
God.
There's a first for everything. So.
Yeah, true.
That's
Well,
also a
can't
sex
live
joke.
that.
Thanks, man.
So many sex jokes happening right now. But yeah, you guys are awesome. A boy named John here in the basement. Thank you guys so much for
Thank
coming.
you for
I
having us,
really
man.
appreciate it. Thank you guys so much.
Yay, us.
And with that, until next time. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Go fuck yourself, San Diego.